Wait a sec, there are projects in the Cardano ecosystem? I thought it was dead. Well, if that's what you're thinking, then you'd be sorely mistaken. Because Cardano actually has a poppin' ecosystem these days. That's why in this video, I want to rank 8 of the most exciting projects in Cardano land. And for each one, I'll evaluate both pros and cons in order to reach my final verdict. Starting with a project with one of the most ambitious goals I've ever seen. They're trying to create a decentralized mobile network for the billions of people out there who do not have access to the internet or even basic phone services. It's called World Mobile, and there's a lot to like about it. For one, it's part of the DePIN sector, which is one of the hottest sectors in all of crypto. But here's the thing, it's not just hype though. World Mobile actually has real utility for people across the world. Their decentralized hybrid dynamic network makes things way cheaper for their users. And that's important because a lot of their customer base is from developing countries. Also, there are numerous reports that their service has been great in countries such as Zanzibar and Pakistan. Like their speed and connectivity have been top notch. So that's amazing. But there are also some things that I dislike about this project. For example, its competition. Notably Helium Mobile, which is much more established and already boasts nearly 50,000 subscribers for their service. Also, when it comes to hardware, the minimum cost for a World Mobile node is super high, which combined with its low monthly rewards means that it could take years before your investment breaks even. So this severely reduces the incentive for people to run these nodes. And that of course would stunt the growth of this network long term. Now I know Helium Mobile and World Mobile are targeting different markets, but from an investor perspective, they're clearly competitors. Like I wouldn't want to hold both Helium Mobile and World Mobile token in my portfolio as that kind of be redundant. But all things considered, I do like this project, and as it's the first one on the list, there's only one place for it to go, the top spot. Now, our next project has a ton of hype, and some people are even calling it the Jupiter of Cardano. That is massive praise, as Jupiter was one of the hottest projects in all of crypto recently, and it really lifted up the entire Solana ecosystem single-handedly. Anyhow, the project I'm talking about is Dex Hunter, and it's an aggregator which gets you the best prices by routing your swaps across Cardano dexes. But what's to like about it? Well, I really like all the amazing features it has. Like you can place up to 40 limit orders in a single transaction. You can also create a basket order that splits your orders across a basket of tokens. And they even have cross-chain swaps, so you can easily move between Cardano and other ecosystems as you like. By the way, this is not just me hyping up these features. You can tell that everyone loves them by looking at Dex Hunter's impressive stats. Currently, Dex Hunter handles 47% of all trades on Cardano, and it recently handled 3,700 swaps in a single day. This has led to the platform doing over 400 million in volume in just its first 5 months. So all that makes me think that if Jupiter can rock it so much, then why can't Dex Hunter too? Well, before you get too bullish here, there are some things I dislike as well. First, there are some worrying trends when it comes to their stats. The number of active wallets engaging with Dex Hunter has been falling since the start of this year. We've gone from over 1,500 daily active users just 90 days ago to about 700 today, a massive 50% decrease. Also, in this time frame, we've seen the number of daily transactions fall from 7,000 all the way down to 2,000. This is concerning. And perhaps it has something to do with the somewhat lackluster marketing efforts by the team. Dex Hunter has only 20k followers on Twitter, while Jupiter has over 300k. And that means that the hype around this project just isn't there. And this is something that the team has to work on moving forward. That being said, I do like how easy it is to use this platform. That's why I'm putting it above World Mobile as the new #1. Anyhow, our next project is doing something I've never seen before. They're using blockchain to allow you to truly own your ebooks or audiobooks. You see, when you go out and buy an ebook, you're only getting a license to it rather than truly owning your copy. But with this project's approach, you can do just that and even resell it if you want. This model also benefits publishers and authors as they can earn royalties on future resales. Anyhow, the project is called Book.io and is one of the most unique projects in the entire Cardano ecosystem. But what's to like about it? Well, first and foremost, their business is really starting to gain momentum. Their retail sales are surpassing the $4.5 million mark, and this comes from selling 200,000 books across 110 countries. And perhaps a big reason behind this growth is that they have some top-tier backing. They got investors from giant firms in the publishing industry, as well as billionaire Mark Cuban himself. So there's no doubt that this is a fascinating use case, and people are clearly on board. But just how good of an investment is it? Well, this is where I have some concerns. You know me, I care a lot about narratives when it comes to crypto investments. And a big problem with Book is that it just doesn't have a clear one. Out of all the hot sectors in crypto, like DePIN, AI, or GameFi, it's unclear which sector Book.io is a part of. Also, if you take a look at their Android app on Google Play, you'll see that it only has around 1,000 downloads, which is definitely low and is a cause for concern. That's why even though I love what they're doing, I gotta put them at number 3 on our running list. Now, I just got done complaining that Book.io doesn't have a clear niche, but this next project for sure has a clear niche. But before we get there, I want to share with you a great way to buy crypto that I bet you haven't heard of before. Don't worry, it's not some other crypto exchange trying to convince you to use them. No, this is something completely different. This is a cryptocurrency brokerage called Caleb & Brown, who's also the sponsor of our video. When I say brokerage, that means you have a personal broker who works with you, and they're the ones who puts in the trades for you. Also, Caleb & Brown isn't just some random brokerage. They're one of the best ones in the crypto world, and there's 3 main reasons why. First is their unbeatable liquidity. When they execute your trades for you, they don't just depend on a single exchange. They're integrated with all the major CEXs, DEXs, and OTC desks out there. So if some exchange doesn't have enough liquidity or is down for whatever reason, then they will still be able to execute your trade without an issue. But liquidity is just a tip of what they offer, because my second reason to try them out is their best-in-class customer support. Tell me, how many exchanges put you through a never-ending gauntlet of customer service reps without ever answering your question? Too many, right? But that would never happen with Caleb & Brown, because you can call and speak with your personal broker directly. So everyone gets a dedicated account manager, and it's a real white glove experience end to end. But if that's not enough, then there's my third reason to try them out, which is their hardcore focus on security. With Caleb & Brown, you can sleep soundly while working with them because every client gets an offline vault that's unique to their account. So yeah, that's super secure, and this is just a glimpse of all the things Caleb & Brown offers. But if any of it sounds interesting to you, then just go sign up using my link below. They do have a waiting list right now, but if you use my link, you can jump the queue. Alright, back to Cardano projects, and this next one is in the super promising niche of real-world assets, or RWAs. It's called Indigo Protocol, and it allows anyone to create synthetic assets, called I-assets, that track the price of real-world assets from outside the Cardano ecosystem. These I-assets can be created by using ADA or stablecoins, and the idea is that they give you exposure to whatever assets they're tracking without you actually having to hold those tracked assets. So that's amazing. But what else is there to like about them? Well, for one, their stats. Indigo Protocol has the highest TVL of any project in the Cardano ecosystem, coming in at over $100 million. And on top of that, its market cap to TVL ratio is only 0.23, which suggests that it's way undervalued. Also, they have over $12 million in their DAO's treasury, which is a solid amount as it ensures a long runway and sufficient capital to invest in their growth. However, it's not all good though, as I do have some dislikes as well. First, although they have a lot of cash in their treasury, much of it is in their native token, which we all know can be a huge risk in the volatile world of crypto. But what's even more concerning is their super low network and developer activity. According to DappRadar, they average around 100 daily active users with a little over 500 transactions per day. Combine that with their little to no developer activity for months on end, and something just doesn't add up. For a project worth close to $100 million, this lack of activity just shouldn't be the case. But even beyond that, they have a track record of de-pegging for some of their synthetic assets. And honestly, that's unacceptable, as that can lead to a loss of confidence in their protocol if it happens too often. So, although they have some really strong numbers, these negatives cannot be ignored, and I gotta put it below World Mobile Token as the new number 3. Anyhow, for my next project, we're back to the blazing hot sector of DePIN. but this time focused on decentralized storage. The name is Iagon, and it's a decentralized storage marketplace where people can trade their excess storage for rewards. In terms of what I like, well, it's in the DePIN sector, and like I always say, a rising tide lifts all ships. But beyond that, Iagon sits in a particularly exciting subsector within DePIN, aka decentralized storage. The potential of this subsector is off the charts, with a recent report stating that the total addressable market for it is a face-melting $2 trillion. So if Iagon can capture even a fraction of that, then it would instantly jump into the top 50, heck, top 20 of all crypto coins out there. Additionally, Iagon has a real use case, and its storage plans are around 10 times cheaper than the likes of Google Cloud or Amazon S3. Then, to top it all off, Iagon plans to expand beyond just storage and has its eyes set on distributed computing and processing, which means it could target some AI use cases as well. Imagine that, both AI and DePIN narratives coming together for one project. That alone would make Iagon rocket. Now, I do also have some concerns to consider as well, namely the other projects in this sector. Iagon's biggest challenge is the fierce competition that it faces, particularly from Filecoin, a strong battle-tested project in the crypto space. As the biggest player in this sector, Filecoin's storage capacity is almost 6,000 times greater than Iagon's, and its storage costs are 11 times cheaper, which poses a huge threat to Iagon and its future growth. So that, of course, is a major concern. But even then, I think Iagon is a great project and has huge potential. So I'm gonna put it right up here at the very top of the list. Now that we have a new number one, you may be wondering, can anything else beat it? Well, maybe this next project can, as it's actually the youngest project on our entire list. The name is Axo, and it just launched in the beginning of February. It's actually a DEX, but people are excited about it because it addresses some of the biggest problems holding back existing DEXs, such as impermanent loss, lack of efficiency when it comes to market making, etc. But what about me? Like, what do I like about it? Well, the first thing is the sheer number of features that it offers, all of which are designed to help traders execute their ideal strategy. There's almost too many to list, but they include unlimited order types, customizable trading strategies, user-created index funds, and more. So with all those features, Axo could legitimately change the way that users interact with and create markets on Cardano, and that would be a game changer. Now, another thing I like is its limited supply. It has a max supply of 42 million tokens, and all fees generated on their platform are used to purchase their tokens, which may end up being burnt. And then, Axo also had a great launch. At some point during its first week, Axo was doing more volume than the next 3 DEXs on Cardano combined. So that was quite impressive to see. But what about the things that I don't like? Well, if we dig deeper into their tokenomics, we see a big red flag straight away. Only 5% of their tokens are in circulation, giving it a fully diluted market cap of 400 million. That is an astronomical valuation, and it's hard to justify for such a young project with no real track record. But then there's a bigger issue, which is the long list of strategies that they offer. Axo currently supports over 5,000 strategies that they claim can help you, quote, trade like a pro. And my problem is that those are quite complicated to understand. So I'm not sure it'll get any long-term adoption from the normie traders out there. Not to mention, if you look closely, you'll see that very few people are using those strategies to begin with. So all their cool features may end up being a waste and not help them generate long-term adoption. That's why I'm putting Axo below Book.io, taking that last spot on our current list. Anyhow, next, we have one of the most hyped up gaming projects in the entire Cardano ecosystem. It's a massive multiplayer role-playing game where you explore vast landscapes and engage in a series of mini-games to collect precious resources. As players move throughout the game, they can own just about anything they interact with by trading peer-to-peer NFTs. But anyways, the project is called Cornucopias, and you may be wondering, what do I like about it? Well, first, gaming is a super strong sector that Cornucopias can benefit from during this bull cycle. And another thing is that they are chain agnostic. They're not reliant on a singular blockchain, which reduces the likelihood that congestion or high fees will degrade the user experience of their game. So that's all great, but there are some things to dislike as well. For example, the game is still in pre-alpha phase, and it doesn't seem that close to launch from what I can tell. Then there's its tokenomics. Only 22% of the tokens are currently in circulation. And to top that off, there are a load of early investors who are way up on their investment. So that could turn into heavy selling pressure in the future. Finally, there's just not the same presence or hype for cornucopias as many of the other blockchain games out there. For example, Illuvium has over 350k followers on Twitter, while Cornucopias only has 50k. So this is not a good look for any game that wants to go mainstream. That's why I'm putting it just above Book.io at number 5. Now, my next project is actually the OG DEX on Cardano, and a whopping 80% of all trading volume flows through this DEX. If you guessed MinSwap, you'd be correct. But what do I like about it? Well, in terms of the stats, no one can touch them. MinSwap has a dominant position in Cardano land, with its volume coming in at 8 times the second largest DEX and its cumulative volume 3 times that of all other Cardano DEXs combined. All of this gives it a TVL of over $80 million, which has doubled since 2023, and a super low market cap to TVL ratio, meaning that it's still undervalued. But another thing I'm excited about is its upcoming V2 update, with a ton of new features that could help it achieve 5 times faster trading speeds. Also, MinSwap has great tokenomics, with only around 10% of its tokens being allocated to insiders. So that's all amazing, but as for my dislikes, well, first, they have really low staking rewards, which comes in at under $1 per staker per day. This lack of financial incentives means that there's really nothing keeping stakers from unstaking and dumping their tokens whenever they want. Also, as of late, MinSwap has struggled to get above 30k active wallets, and this really needs to increase if they want to keep their momentum. Overall, I think it's a great DEX though, and its usage stats cannot be ignored. That's why I'm putting it at number 2, just above DEX Hunter, but below Iagon. Well, there you have it, my final ranking of these Cardano ecosystem projects. But what I want to know is, do you agree with my rankings, or would you move some things around? Let me know in the comments below. Next up, I'm going to rank Polkadot ecosystem projects, and you can bet that there will be some gems in there. So subscribe to catch that, and don't forget to try out Caleb and Brown by using my link below.